My name is Karmen Rydem, and I am young and great. My name is Karmen Rydem. I am the creative director of Refine Rebel and Company. Okay, well, definitely the obstacles that I had to overcome to make me who I was today. I mean, I'm from Sacramento, California. I moved here in 2011 for college. I go to Clark Atlanta University. My major is television with a minor in marketing. And I pretty much moved because I'm the youngest of four. You know, I'm the baby. Everyone treated me like I was the baby all the time. And I was just like, you know what? I'm getting out of here. But the main thing is my dad died my senior year of high school, a day after New Year's, January 2nd. So me and my dad would always go back and forth. He was from San Francisco, and he wanted me to go to San Francisco State. And I was like, okay, Dad, I'm going to go to San Francisco State to be close to you, to be close to the family. When he died, I kind of took that as, okay, maybe that's not what he wanted me to do. Not necessarily a sacrifice, but something that, you know, everything happens for a reason. So instead of going to San Francisco State, I chose to go to Atlanta and attend Clark Atlanta University. I'm the first person in my family to move and the first to actually attend college. So, you know, a lot of the struggles that I've been through, I mean, we grew up in a pretty middle-class neighborhood, but my parents weren't rich. So we made just enough to get by, to where we couldn't be, you know, in a hood, but we weren't in the suburbs. So being that kind of person, I had lots of different friends. Leaving them, moving here, specifically the culture clash from being around mixed white Mexican people, now living in Atlanta where it's predominantly Black, everything kind of molded me into becoming like aware that, okay, I might be a little different, okay? You know, people might think my accent, like they used to say I talk like a white girl, but you know what, I'm gonna make it work. I'm gonna make it work. So when I started attending college, I started interning, and through my internships, you know, I just began to develop and understand what I really wanted to do, and that was marketing. And, you know, that's kind of how everything pretty much started and how I developed, from my dad dying to me deciding to move and to me just trying out different internships to begin to develop me in regards to what I wanted to do for a living. Definition of an entrepreneur is somebody who is resilient and someone who doesn't take no for an answer. To me, you know, an entrepreneur is more so like a mindset. Yes, you can own your own business, but being an entrepreneur is really understanding that this is make or break. Like, I have to make this work or it's not. I know a lot of people who've gotten EIN numbers and LLCs, but they don't do anything with it, and they call themselves an entrepreneur. No, it's the way you think. Do you have a business? Do you have a service? And are you working on that every day, on it and in it? You know, so I think being an entrepreneur ultimately is being a persistent individual who knows what they offer, knows their value, and they're able to showcase that through different mediums, whether that's a website, whether that's their social media, whether that's, you know, interactions like this, or whether that's showing the whole world that, you know, they can, you know, record videos. Regardless, it's just being a person who goes for their dreams and is able to prove that through their work. No, I did not grow up around any entrepreneurs, actually. I grew up around everyone who worked. I didn't know anything about a business. I mean, I knew that you could start it, but in regards to the specifics on starting it, marketing it, maintaining it, I never knew anyone around me who owned a business. Everyone around me pretty much worked, so yeah. Well, ultimately, I never a worker mentality, I'm taking it as, you know, being a person who's always had a job. I think, me personally, I've never been an individual who wanted to work for someone else. I felt like I was an individual who wanted to learn from people, and if I had to work, it will only be for a finite, like, it would be for a second. So I took on internships. I've never actually had a job, you know, where I go in every single day from 9 to 5. So I took on internships, some non-paid, a lot of them non-paid, and some paid. And that's pretty much how I learned a lot about the business in regards to marketing, video content, and everything like that. So ultimately, you know, I wouldn't say that there was a switch from a worker mentality to an entrepreneur mentality, because I already knew from the very beginning I wanted to have my own business. I knew I didn't want to work for anybody. So it was more so like, damn, I want to be an entrepreneur. How can I really learn how to be one? And then what am I going to do? What's going to be my business? So I took on more internships, and that's how I learned. I decided to become an entrepreneur when my last, one of my very last internships that I had, I mean, this is what I feel. Let's take it a step back really quick. Okay, so a lot of corporate companies, they want young people with great ideas. However, when those young people come and they talk to these companies about these ideas, they're afraid to implement them very quickly. Me, I'm a kind of individual that if you say, hey, we want innovative ideas, we want this, we want that, I'll give it to you. And the minute that I feel like you don't respect it is when I take a step back. So my very last internship was when I decided, like, you know what, I'm gonna take this seriously. It was for a supply chain finance company. I was working in the marketing department, so that's kind of where I learned all of the systems to use to track all the work that I do now. And, you know, they just weren't nice. You know, they didn't make me feel welcome. They didn't make me feel like they cared. And, you know, for me, it's kind of like, well, if you guys aren't going to respect me, I've been doing this for some time now, interning, I'm just going to go ahead and start my own business. And kind of as I grow, see in what field of marketing do I want to focus on. So I would say 2016 of December. That's officially when Refined Rebel & Co. came to life. I was already doing events and, you know, shows and panels, but when I specifically made it a service and a business, December 2016. I discovered my strengths and weaknesses through mistakes, you know, like that's it. Like everything that I learned so far has been because it was a mistake that I made or it just wasn't successful. So, you know, whether that's me sending out an email campaign, testing it one way, and then me sending an email campaign out and testing it another way, and both of them get no responses, to me, that's a mistake. That's a problem. Wait, I need money. Like, why isn't no one clicking this button, you know? So all of the things that I've learned have literally been through mistakes. And also, you know, learning and trial, listening to people and saying, okay, I'm going to take in some of that, but I'm going to do it my own way, still failing. But, you know, ultimately it's all success, because as long as you're learning from the failures and the successes, because you need to know what to do right as well, in addition to knowing what not to do anymore. That helped a lot with me understanding how not to make those mistakes again. Definitely. How I learned the business that I was in was from the people that I surrounded myself around, the internships, and just doing research myself. I don't think you're able to learn anything if you're not willing to learn it on your own. Yes, you can learn from people and you can, again, take on these internships or these other experiences with other startup companies or with other people that do what you do. But it was being inspired from people, learning, you know, myself and taking the time to research and also going out in the field and experiencing it myself. So I was able to apply a little bit of everything. Okay, my knowledge, other people's knowledge, my real world experience. And I think ultimately that's what's molded me into really learning how to maneuver in this entrepreneur world, because it's not easy. It ain't easy. As much as people make it look like, oh, team no sleep. That, man, look, that stuff, you want sleep. You need to be rested. So when you wake up in the morning, you are able to think clearly and set your goals and be aware of what you want to achieve. So, you know, again, me learning what I do for a living came from being inspired from others, learning from other people, doing the research myself, and, you know, real world experience. Recently, you know, I definitely recently learned that assets versus liabilities, those are two separate things. And to me, I've learned it through having interns. Even then, people around you as well. But if I speak from an entrepreneur standpoint, I'll speak from my specific, you know, experience. And, you know, we can speak assets and liabilities in regards to the people that you have around you, you know, and people who really help and care and support about you versus people that just want to be around to see you grow and they support you when they feel like it. Those kind of dictate assets and liabilities. The assets are the people that you want to keep with you. The liabilities are ones that you shouldn't want around you, because ultimately over time they're going to make you lose a lot of money or make you lose your mind. Versus your assets, those are the people that are going to keep you level-headed. They're going to make sure you're supportive, keep you on your game. And, you know, even then, if we speak in regards to another, you know, in another way, assets and liabilities with my interns, I just understood the difference because I lost a lot of money having interns that I thought were assets when they were really all liabilities. So I really had to take a step back and reconfigure my work structure and saying, okay, who are the people, who are the assets that know what they want to do and are willing to work on that specific thing? And who are the liabilities who just want to be around to take the pictures with the indies and to take pictures at all the studios and all the stuff like that, looking like they're doing something, but they're really not bringing anything to the table? Let's clean house, you know? So ultimately, recognizing the difference, it's a feeling. You know, people that you feel they're supposed to be there, they're showing you that they deserve to be with you, whether that's, again, through their support, through them keeping you level-headed or whatever. That's what truly dictates assets and liabilities, what they bring to the table, and ultimately, you know, how you help them level up as well. Yeah, so how I deal with the battle between my emotions and business is basically there isn't a battle. Ultimately, the only battle I would say, I won't say that, is being passionate about something and the person or the people that you're working with aren't passionate about it as well. And they don't believe in the vision. And that's, to me, when I feel the emotions get involved, because I get to a point to where I'm not like, oh my gosh, it's more so like, you know what, I don't need you then. And that can be a gift and a curse, because sometimes, you know, with your emotions, I feel like you have to be a little empathetic. And even, I won't say sympathetic, but definitely empathetic, because a lot of people go through things. A lot of people are dealing with their own battles. So maybe they're not able to give you what they want exactly in that moment. So even though, you know, when I say emotions in business, it shouldn't be anything that's involving contracts or stuff that where emotions shouldn't even be discussed. But if we're talking about business in regards to your employees and your interns and things like that, you have to have some kind of emotion because you want to retain them. You want to keep them. But if we're talking about deals and clientele and all of these things that actually make a living in whether or not I excel or not, you know, I don't play around with it. You know, and I try my best to not get my emotions involved. It's literally like, hey, this is it. Do you respect it? Do you not? Okay, if you don't respect it, how can we fix it? If we can't fix it, let's really try to find another way to fix it. And if we can't, then we gotta let it go. Because ultimately, being in your emotions is gonna cloud you from your judgment on everything that you can be doing with your business. I'm telling you, when you're in this specific mindset, whether it's in your subconscious or your conscious mind, being emotional does not allow you to make sound decisions. So you have to learn how to hold that back and to be aware of it and know when to have emotion and when not to. But with me, when it comes to business and clientele, it's no emotion. It's like, this is what it is and this is how it's going to be, pretty much. Young women who want to become entrepreneurs become one. I think that it's a beautiful thing to see young women who are passionate about something and they're deciding to go out and go for it. Because I feel like, you know, me, I love history. That's my favorite major. So, you know, from the beginning of time, there's been plenty of things that have happened to deter women from excelling very well. So now that we're in a space where we have to take advantage of it. So no matter what it is, no matter what the idea is, whether you know you like to draw, great, now you have, you know, potentially a role to get into graphic design. If you know you like to sew, oh, you might end up becoming a fashion stylist. Oh, if you like to create and throw events and you like music, oh, you might become a music artist or you might become an event planner. You know, ultimately, any young woman that wants to become a CEO or an entrepreneur, do it. The world is at your fingertips. You have everything that you need to get it done. And as long as you stay focused and you take it serious, you will become everything that you need to be. That's it. Okay, so I've been planning and working with music artists and working in branding since 2014. Okay, and the biggest thing that I've seen in regards to the culture shift is people going from planning events and doing great things to now more so getting over on people and not providing the experience that they promise. I feel like this has ultimately created a disconnection between the culture and a lot of the event planners. And when I say the culture, I say music artists, producers, creators, and things like that. But one thing that I really want to reiterate is that if you're a music artist and you want to build your brand and you want to build your fan base and you want to have a campaign and you want to become this star, influencer, changer, a person that changes the game, you have to be willing to listen to people who are experienced and that can help you. Because I run into so many situations where there's a talented individual and this individual does not want to listen to anyone, therefore they are in the exact same place they were 3 years ago. So in order to level up, you have to also level up the people you surround yourself around. You have to level up the way that you think, and you have to level up the things that you do. Because if you're doing the same things, you're going to always be in the same place. That's all I gotta say. Noticing the difference of someone who's trying to get over on you, they don't have their ducks in a row. So I feel like if someone's going to pay anyone for a service, for one, it needs to be, okay, is this service in writing? Do you have let's say, for instance, a marketing campaign? Is this in writing? When are we going to meet to talk about the ideas that I have in regards to what I want in my marketing campaign? And then what is the timeline of when you're going to complete it? No, I don't want to give you all of the money up front. Instead, can I give you a consultation fee for sitting down with me? And then once you send it over, I can send you the rest of the money. A lot of independent music artists, they choose to listen to the words of people instead of thinking about the specific steps they need to take to get the thing that they want. A lot of people are out here taking advantage. They say, no, bro, you got to give me the whole 400. Well, how am I going to know that it's completed? Man, you just got to trust me. That's how I do it. You got to give me the whole 400. No, you have to protect yourself. So in order to recognize who's getting over on you and who's not, usually a person will say half and half, or I'll give you something in writing to show you that I'm serious about this. Or they're going to be more business minded about it. They're going to be more business savvy versus a person who doesn't necessarily ask you the right questions. And even if it doesn't feel right inside, 9 times out of 10, it might not be what they say it is. So for one, if you don't want nobody to get over on you, get it in writing. 2, make sure that you are very much aware about what the service is, when they plan to complete it, and when you are going to get it back. And next, just make sure it's something that you actually need, that you have to invest into, so you're not investing into things you should not be investing into. That's the quickest way to not get, fucked over, is by making sure you actually need the service, so you know what you want and you know when you need it. So definitely. My ultimate goal in life is to open up a creative working space that can also be used as a music studio and also be used to throw events. Therefore, it's going to be monetized on its own while also providing a space where creatives can come, work, collaborate, and learn and inspire each other. My name is Karmen Rydem, and I am young and great.